What's up, my beautiful Cancer? It's your girl Mika, the Traveling Tarot, back with some monthly messages from Spirit. We are in the month of August, the very beginning of it. However, these messages are going to be timeless, so if you happen to find this video in another month, just know that they apply to that month. These are for Cancer placements, Cancer watchers, Cancer everything, because this channel is from Cancer, for Cancer, and they are general, so do take them as they resonate. But I always say, as soon as something resonates, definitely look deeper to find out why and what you can do to use this new information, okay? So I'm just going to start with one cosmic dreamscape so that we can get an overarching energy over the next 30 days or so, and then we'll jump into the tarot and see what advice Spirit might have, what possible challenges, and where you might want to place your focus to see the most progress, okay? So let's go ahead and just see what might be active for my beautiful Cancer. And if I can help bring you any clarity, please do feel free to shoot me a DM and we can discuss the logistics via DM. And yeah, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe if this is definitely helping you in any way. I appreciate your support. Ooh, and this makes perfect sense, okay? So you're going to be, because we got fuel your inner fire. And it makes perfect sense with us kind of coming out of a retrograde over the next couple of weeks, that you're going to be looking at ways to fuel your passion or to move with more passion. But they do want you to know that your Uranus energy is going to be active. So expect miracles, especially as you do look at ways to fuel your inner fire or to move from a place of passion or inspiration, really, because that is definitely that fire energy, and we are in Leo season. So a lot of the stuff that you're going to be looking at right now is going to have to do with how you see yourself, how you want to present yourself, and what ways are going to be more fulfilling to you, my beautiful Cancer. And I hope that you guys are really, using this retrograde for good, okay? So don't let it pull you back into some type of a spiral, because the past is showing up. And what it's been for me has been thoughts. Thoughts and old emotions, or romanticizing the past and things like that. Maybe because I'd like to be further along on my journey than I feel that I am. And so that does cause that. So they want me to definitely highlight, use this retrograde for good, use the information for good, so that you are not falling back into old patterns, okay? Because it is so easy to do this right now. As a matter of fact, the more that you look at finding ways to move from inspiration and fueling your fire, that's when those miracles start to show up, okay? And I think the last reading I did said, or it might have been the channeled messages, but they said a miracle is coming through. Remember what I said, it's going to be on the heels of this retrograde, and we have this until about the 11th, and then we have the shadow till about the 25th of August. You should be seeing some progress in between that 11th and that 25th shadow, okay? It doesn't mean that we got to go through a whole nother month on this bullshit, okay? So don't take that as that. As a matter of fact, don't claim that. Claim, you know what, miracles can happen right now, even in a retrograde. They can happen whenever, because they're saying the more that you lean into fueling your passion and fueling your fire, you're going to see those miracles, and that's confirmed with what we just got. And when I pick up the soul trees, we got prosper. Okay, this is, you're stepping into a much more abundant time, my beautiful Cancer. And I don't care if you're focused on money. I don't care if you're focused on a relationship. I don't even care if you're focused on your physical body, okay? Because the more, it's all in the same direction. It's all abundance, okay? So you're stepping into a more confident, abundant, moving from inspiration timeline, okay? And that's coming in this month here, okay? This is the overarching energy for the month. Not only are they asking you to do that, but as you do that, there's going to be more things that show up. May feel like miracles, may not, whatever, but there's going to be more things that show up that fuel your fire, okay? Because you're now moving from that place of inspiration and not disappointment or doubt or fear or look, like I said, with this retrograde, this stuff shows up. You get to choose how you use it. And they want me to be very, very explicit about it. Use it for good. Okay, you can find yourself in a spiral if you need to spiral for a moment, but your awareness should not let it get too far off the rails. You're stepping into a much more prosperous time, okay, Cancer? So claim that instead of what other stuff you might be claiming as this stuff shows up. Okay? Okay. So let's see. Let's get one more of these Soul Tree Oracle cards to get some more overarching energy for the coming month. And then we'll jump into the tarot to see what area of focus would be best for my beautiful Cancer. Yeah, and I mean, look, we already know this. We got becoming, jumping out. This is you stepping into who you've been becoming. And that's what I was saying about that retrograde. Using this retrograde for good is that you're now integrating who you've been becoming all this time. And you're doing this from a place of inspiration. And they want you to definitely do that. And as you're becoming, we do have lists, because there's no way you're not getting signs, Cancer. There's no way, unless you're completely oblivious, which even the least awakened Cancer is not oblivious, okay? They might not understand what they are receiving, but they are receiving, okay? Because we're incredibly intuitive. We feel things. I know myself, I'm clairsentient more than anything. So and sometimes claircognizant of this knowing, but the feeling is palpable. When I can walk into a room and I can feel the energy of a room, and I can read the energy of a room based on what I'm feeling. And know that most Cancers, if not all Cancers, can do that and have been doing that, okay? So just trust what you're receiving, move from a place of inspiration, and know that whatever is showing up is meant for you to hear something clearly and move you towards who you're becoming, okay? And then I picked that up, and we did have empathy and compassion. So this always falls back on taking care of yourself, Cancer. Self-love, self-care, nurturing yourself, nurturing your passions, nurturing the things that you truly want in life, and being okay with saying, this is what I want. No explanation. The answer is just going to be no. I don't have to tell you why it's no. I don't have to come up with a bunch of reasons, because I don't want to do it. The end. Okay, so you have to get to a point where you're comfortable with letting people down that way, and that's very tough for a Cancer, because we care. We care to a point where we will sacrifice ourselves sometimes. And so you're going to have to get more comfortable with what Cancer wants, and it is not being selfish, because if you're giving and still overgiving, you're not giving from a place of alignment. You're overgiving, and it's taking from you now, okay? We do have the Emperor energy showing up when I pick up this card, okay? So I'm about to ask for area of focus, and what they're really saying is focus on solidifying yourself in who you've been becoming all of this time, okay? Focus on grounding yourself and really getting solid and firm in who you've been stepping into all of this time, okay? No matter what shows up, you will receive the miracles and the inspiration on exactly what to do if you're listening. If you're not listening, that's okay. You'll still hear it. It just might be a little rougher than it needs to be. And that's okay too, because it's all valuable, like I always say. But tune into what fuels you, Cancer. That's what's good. This whole next month, even in the face of still releasing and closing cycles out and receiving miracles, because they're not saying that you're in that waiting period anymore. They're saying that you're now moving from a different place, so miracles are about to show up or are showing up. You just need to tune in so that you can realize that's what's happening, okay? Even if it looks like shit falling apart. Bye. You have to be in a state of, okay, Spirit knows what I want. If this thing is not in line with who I'm becoming, then it can't stay. So I trust that that's why it has to go, okay? And so once you get a little more firmer in your beliefs, especially with this being a 4 card, and an Aries energy, which can be very, not very diplomatic in their approach. Okay, they're just they know what they want. They go after that and they get it, and they're firm in who they are and what they believe. So now, working towards solidifying what you've been becoming all of this time is literally the only work, Cancer. If you have been letting go, and if you have been letting those cycles close, you definitely feel lighter. There's no way that you don't. However, because things haven't fully become what they are, you are probably in this transition period of feeling a little lost, or maybe not understanding or realizing what you should be doing right now. Okay, and that can be a little bit draining. But all they're saying is listen and move from that inspiration. And when you move from that inspiration, you're going to be going in the right direction, and you can trust the information that you're receiving. Okay, so let me go ahead and get this area of focus and see what they want you to know. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, look, it's all what I just said. The devil energy is all about being bound to something, or being afraid of something, or those subconscious fears showing themselves. Okay, this has been a shadow work period. This is all actually so that you can learn to embrace that shadow side instead of trying to ignore it or push it away, because it's all a part of you. It doesn't matter if society thinks that it's wrong. It doesn't matter if your parents told you this was the wrong and you're bad if you do this. It's time to embrace that, okay? Because that is what actually releases you from these binds. Now, another thing that the devil can represent, being a Capricorn card, is a need for structure, okay? And with it being a 15 card, it breaks down to a 6, a need for harmony or balance to be restored, okay? So that could also be your area of focus right now. Finding some type of structure in that kind of confusion that I was just talking about of, you know, you're not this anymore, but you haven't quite fully seen the evidence of this, and so there's that oblivion of, okay, well, what the hell do I do then? Ugh. It can be very frustrating, but the devil card does show up with strength, which does confirm for me that it's time for you to find some type of structure that is going to release you from whatever things you may still feel bound to. Or, with the strength card showing up, they're definitely saying, face those fears. You have the strength. You have the strength to face those fears. Okay, and they're saying moving from inspiration is a form of facing those fears, because you're now listening, receiving, and moving with the energy instead of fighting against it or struggling or staying bound or addicted to something or someone. Okay, but you do have the strength to do it. That would be why strength showed up. So tap into your inner strength as an area of focus so that you can overcome whatever fears or these things that you feel bound to that keep showing up. It is all because right before, and I think I say this in the last few readings, because we're going through this right now, Cancer, things are coming to a head. And I know during one of the darkest periods of my life, everything was going wrong to the point where I didn't have a choice but to surrender or lose my mind. So I surrendered. I would just get it. I said, Spirit, I really don't know what you are trying to get me to do here. People are not doing their jobs. They're not calling me back. People that are supposed to be helping me are just gone. They're here, and then all of a sudden they just go. And it's like, okay, something is clearly happening here. Since I don't know what it is, I have to surrender. Little did I know it was because that full cycle was closing. That was one of my dark night of the soul moments there, where it was like months, almost a year of this shit. And so finally, when I did do that surrendering, it was like a week, maybe 2 weeks of me just saying, fuck it. I would get up, I would play my guitar, and I would sing as loud as I could. And then 2 weeks later, literally, my entire life changed. Okay, and that was Spirit's way of letting me know that, hey, if you're having to push against or struggle with anything, surrender. You're gonna have to get to a point to surrender, or you're gonna go absolutely crazy, like literally some fucking picking people off type shit if this doesn't come together. Not that I would do that, obviously, but that was my cue to surrender, and that's what Spirit is saying right now. if you are experiencing what seems like blocks, if you're experiencing you hitting every door, people who are supposed to be doing things, or people showing up and then not following through, that's your cue to say, all right, Spirit, you're doing something, and all it's doing is pissing me off. So I'm going to go do this instead, and you let me know when you need me to jump in. Because then Spirit can freely move without whatever resistance you're placing by trying so hard, okay? Also remember, you have to invite this energy in, so you have to be willing to listen and hear and ask as well. Let's see what challenges might show up. I mean, obviously with the devil energy showing up, they're saying to focus on that, and so those subconscious fears, those addictions, those things, those thoughts, especially with this guy, the way he's holding his head is just like, just get out of here type shit. With those thoughts can be that way sometimes. It feels like that's what's going to be coming up. And we got this in the area of the possible challenge. This is all about feeling hopeful or finding some type of fulfillment or feeling renewed. If you are experiencing this devil energy, or these things that keep popping up, or these thoughts that won't seem to go away, to where you're just feeling like you're going a little bit crazy, yeah, you're going to have a hard time staying hopeful. Or even in both of these, they're all about receiving some type of fulfillment or some type of new emotional fulfillment. And so feeling fulfilled could be a challenge, and feeling confident, because we do have the Nine of Pentacles showing up, who is also about fulfillment. Not only because it's a 9 card, but she's fulfilled, she's confident, she's comfortable in her own skin. And so being in this in-between might actually cause you to feel not as confident in your own skin. Okay, but they're saying no matter what shows up, remember the area of focus. Be willing to look these things in the face and say, I'm just going to love you until we can get on the same page. Okay, I trust you, Spirit, even if this doesn't feel good. They're even saying, and I've been getting this a lot myself, instead of trying to do anything to not feel so bad, look, we don't want to do this, but we might need to sit with the discomfort for a minute. Sit with this discomfort. Realize that this is something, and have it show up in your body so you can recognize it when it does show up. And you can say, okay, this is that feeling again, but you got to get comfortable with it instead of always trying to push it away, because that is also a form of resistance. You are looking to be an open valve for this energy to flow, okay? It's good and bad. There's darkness and there's light. It can't all be one thing and be balanced. The universe is about balance, okay? So don't worry about not feeling this fulfillment yet. You will receive the information. And so if this does show up as a challenge, they're just saying do what you can to listen. And then you'll receive the inspiration that you need to move out of this cycle of repeat. Because that's really what the devil energy really feels like in this reading here. It feels like there's this endless feedback loop that you keep pushing away or saying no to, and you don't want to feel like shit. It makes sense, but they're saying if you sit with this, there's information in that feeling, and again, mostly it's for you to get comfortable with what this feeling is doing to your body, because your spirit has already moved on, but the trauma might still be in your body, and your nervous system needs a reset. And so with that being said, you want to get comfortable with what your body is saying to you so that you can reset your nervous system, and so that it's no longer exuding that disappointment, that trauma, that hurt, that broke, that whatever, that scarcity, that addiction. Okay, but let's get some advice from Spirit and see what else could be helpful so that you can get back into this energy of hope. At least hope. You don't even have to find belief right now. If you're in any type of a spiral or a feedback loop, just seek hope. Just stop the energy in its tracks by just saying, maybe it'll be different this time. That's literally all you have to find. But it can't just be words. You have to mean it. You have to exude that energy of it could be different this time, and I believe that. Okay, so they're just saying when you do fight, look, as I stopped to say that, we have that internal struggle showing up with the Five of Swords. That is going to be a challenge, especially as we're continuing to ebb and flow. And honestly, Cancer, I don't want to give this to you, but they're saying it. It's probably going to be like this through the rest of the year. Not that things are not going to get better. Not that things are not going to improve. But you're going to be coming up against your shadow self because things are improving. You're going to be coming up against these fears and these things that you've allowed to hold you back, or these internal struggles, so that you can deal with them. That's why you want to embrace this stuff that shows up. You don't want to ignore it. You don't want to push it away anymore. You want to find peace with it so that you can get back into a place of fulfillment. The only way that you can get this energy out is to let it flow through you. Because resisting it is only going to build it up, and it is going to come out in a tower moment. And when it does, thank God, because that means that I didn't see it, Spirit, and you needed to shake things up for me. But if I can avoid a tower moment by just trying to do what I can to relieve a little pressure here and there, that's better. And you still get that tower moment, but it comes in the form of a breakthrough or a revelation or clarity, because you've been slowly releasing that pressure by just embracing all of you. You want to remain an open valve for the energy. And it doesn't matter what is coming through, because it's all the energy. It's all meant to put you into what you've been becoming all this time. And not even that it's not going to happen, but you got to believe it in order to experience it. So all of the work, all of the readings, all of the affirmations, all of the visualizing, all of the meditations, is to get you in a space of belief, not to create it. It's there. It's already there for you. It's only meant to tune you to the frequency of it so you can actually experience it in your life. I have this incense going, but I hope I'm not burning down my... It definitely smells kind of wonky. It was good at first. I don't know what happened there, but anyway. All right, so let's get back to the to the advice. But yeah, just be prepared to embrace all of this, Cancer. And like I said, there's going to be a bit of an ebb and flow throughout the rest of this year, especially. And the one of the most disheartening things I got in my own personal reading, because I feel like I've been doing a lot of work, and I still got a year from now. That doesn't necessarily mean nothing is going to be moving in that year, but that's when the final, all of this is probably going to be cleared out, is what I actually received. And as much as I hated to hear that message, at least it prepared me, so that when this does come up, I'm like, okay, this is that crossroads that I'm at, where I'm going to have to choose differently so that things can change differently. And even with those spiraling thoughts that we get from the devil energy, okay? So just be prepared. It's going to be a lot of ebbing and flowing for the rest of this year. There are still those corners that are being cleared out. But again, not that you won't see progress, especially with miracles showing up, but until you fully step into this and you're not even really kind of going back to this old energy, there's going to be some ebbing and flowing. So just be gentle with yourself. We got empathy and compassion showing up as well. And we also got perception showing up when I picked that up. And it's all meant to shift your perspective of who you are and how you see yourself, so that you can live differently. The universe goes by absolute mathematical precision law. And so there's no exceptions. Not for anybody. It may seem like somebody else is thriving in a certain way, but you have no idea where their energy is, which is why comparing yourself to somebody is futile. And we got the death card as the advice. I mean, the cycles are closed. Let this rebirth in. Let this rebirth in by embracing your entire being, okay? Even if you find yourself in a spiral again, 20, 30 minutes later, try to distract yourself. But sit with that for a minute. Sit with it for a minute so that not only you can visualize or imagine yourself getting out of this cycle, because this is what the death energy would represent, that also that cycle that's ending, so that the new can show up again. And actually this would be your becoming energy for sure, with the miracles and the becoming. But you've got to let those cycles in. And with the death energy and the devil energy showing up, it's definitely about some type of thought process, or even when we saw perception, it's something about how you see yourself and this feedback loop that you're in. And so because you're in that loop, shit doesn't change that much. Or you might still be seeing the same things coming up, financial problems, heartbreak, whatever, or or the past. But it's because it has to go by what you're exuding. If you're exuding a feedback loop, that's what you're getting. And so it's confirming what you believe. And once you work towards softening that, and like I said, just finding the energy of hope is enough, you will start to see different, and that'll help solidify your faith in a different direction. But it will take work, which is why they want me to definitely reiterate, it's not going to be rough, because remember, it's about how you perceive what's going on. If you have a clearer understanding of it, you can at least move with it a little bit. But it's going to be a little ebbing and flowing for the rest of the year. God damn it. But it is what it is, too. Okay? But that's so that you can let this stuff end and let these new cycles come in. Okay? And we do have the, look, this is all, the Nine of Wands confirms exactly what we're feeling. We're sick of hearing this. We feel like we've done the work. We feel like we've been doing the work, not just this year, for years. Letting go, ebbing and flowing. We feel like things should be showing up a lot more presently than just feeling better or feeling that it's on its way. Remember, we are getting what we are exuding. So if you're not seeing that evidence, it is something that is still active in this cycle that you need to release yourself from, which would be the area of focus that we got, so that you can move these into the upright, because right now they're going to be a bit of a challenge, okay? And they're even confirming, find stuff that inspires you and that moves you, and they want you to especially tune more into your creative side. If you like to play music, if you like to paint, if you like to draw, if you like to sing, do more of that, because that keeps you connected to this energy. And so even if you feel like you're in this spiral, you're exuding a different energy, because you're not thinking about whatever this is right now, and you're now connected to the energy, so you can receive the information that you need to move this stuff into the upright, in a place where you're finding that new fulfillment, where you're receiving that hope, and where you're receiving that guidance, because the star energy definitely represents guidance for me as well. But we're exhausted. We're sick of hearing the story about our breakthrough. And again, not saying that that hasn't been happening, because I know that my life's very different. Things might not look exactly the way that I want them to look, but man, do they look way better than they did only a few years ago. And so I'm grateful for that. And I think leaning more into being grateful for where you are now, instead of what you need to do to be this thing that you want to become, is going to be the most helpful for whatever progress you're trying to make. Okay? I'm going to pull one more card for the advice. Then I will send you guys off with an angel number, so that you can, I always love angel numbers. They're such a kiss from the universe to let you know you're not alone, to also give you information in that moment. And I think the last number that we got for our last reading was awaken, and that was the 11. So just remember, that's that portal that, we're actually in Lionsgate right now, but the portal is going to be most open on the 8th, so I'll be coming back to do another reading for you guys there to see what you guys can expect for Lionsgate. But use that 11 energy to realize that you're in a deeper level of awakening. Oh, I love that so much. That you're in a deeper level of awakening right now. And even if you've already been through levels of awakening, Cancer, it doesn't really end. You just keep shedding layers until you get more enlightened until you understand. But we have the 6 of Wands showing up with the King of Wands, okay? Step back into your power here. there is that recognition and victory coming through with that, with who you're becoming, okay? But you want to already feel like this. You have to present yourself as if you're already the King of Wands. You have to present yourself like you're already being recognized. You have to present yourself like you're already the star. You have to be it, and then you get to live it. And so one of the things that we have the hardest time accepting is that it's coming from us. It's like, really? Really? Well, how do I change this? I've been struggling with this my whole life. How do I change? It's coming from me. Am I doomed? No, but it is a process of embracing, a process of releasing a little bit of pressure, a process of loving every aspect of you and using it for good, because even your shadow side can be helpful in some things when you're dealing with day-to-day life. But you got to already see yourself as the star and already be the King of Wands. Step fully into your power, and no more what they're saying right now is straddling this fence of he loves me not. I can do it, I'm a loser. I got this today, the next day I'm spiraling. That feels very Two of Pentacles, and I'm very surprised that Two of Pentacles didn't show up here, because that back and forth will keep you from seeing that you're already the star. Walk like the star, dress like the star, talk like the star, think like the star. Reclaim your power by doing these things, okay, my beautiful Cancer? So I hope something resonated for you guys. If it did, please do like, share, subscribe. I'm truly grateful that I get to do this. And yeah, I'm going to be jumping back on probably, I might actually just open that up for questions on the 8th. So we will see, but definitely hit that subscribe so that you will be aware of what's going on. If I can help bring you guys any type of clarity, please do DM me, or all the links will definitely be in the description of this video. And yeah, thanks. I love you guys. Let's go ahead and see what your angel number will be for the coming month here. But as soon as I pick it up, we definitely have passion showing up. Because this is not bullshit. Tap back in. Remember, Vesta says, fuel your inner fire. Tap back in to what moves you, Cancer. That is, you're going to be your only work right now, and you will find that fulfillment as you're doing that, okay? And even step outside your comfort zone, because that's another thing I myself have been getting as a Cancer Sun Moon. Yeah, this feels comfortable, this feels like it's going to work, but you're going to have to put yourself into a little bit of more uncomfortable situations in order to expand beyond what you're already doing. Okay, so tune into things that fuel you, tune into things that make you feel fulfilled. Okay, so let's see what your angel number will be for this month. And ooh, dude, compassion and confidence. When you see 272 or 3, 6, or 9, it's an ask for you to tune into your King of Wands. Move with that confidence, and just move from a place of knowing. Because another thing that I've been getting in my own personal readings, and it makes so much damn sense, it blew my mind. I was like, dude, this might even be the piece. I mean, there's never a missing piece, but you always feel like the next piece you get is going to be the thing. It's kind of ridiculous but fun. Is move from I hope this works to I know this is going to work. That little shift is going to be a game changer, and that's what they're asking you to do when you see 272. Tap into your King of Wands. Move like you're already the star. Okay, that's what you're going to want to do, and be gentle with yourself, especially during this area of focus when your shadow stuff starts showing up, when your mind starts to spiral just a little bit. Tap into, because we also got empathy and compassion in the soul trees. 3s are about expansion, 6 is about harmony, and 9 is about fulfillment. Okay, so they want you to move with confidence and have compassion with yourself, and little by little you will start to shift your perspective of yourself, which means everything around you will change. But you have to change what you're exuding first in order to experience that in your actual life. All right, my beautiful Cancer, 272. To be a reminder to move with confidence. In fact, 2s or 7s even, because 7s represent love, 2s represent alignment and duality. So you just know when you see these numbers, you can move with confidence and you can move from a place of love. And as long as you do that, you're already the star. You're already in your power. Okay, and they want you to know that that's the only work you need to do here, because you're in this place of becoming. Hear the guidance. Move when you hear it. Embrace your shadow side, and you will find this fulfillment again, okay? You will find this new fulfillment, because it's not just waiting to come in, it's here. Your only work is to tune to it. You don't have to create anything, it's here. One more time. You don't have to create anything, it's here. Everything is happening. All you have to do is find the energy of it and tune to it. And that sounds easy. And it could be easy, but there's a lot of other things that do come up, which is why you do have to work through this shadow stuff before you really start to see the most progress in your physical world. Which is why I think even Abraham Hicks says your first evidence is that you're going to feel better, and that has to be enough for a little while until you start to fully change what you're exuding from your body. Then your physical world will catch up. Okay, my beautiful Cancer? Thank you so much for watching. I am Mika, the Traveling Tarot, and I just love you guys. I really do. Take care of each other, okay? Peace.